to another episode of Bitches in Business. We are back recording in our old location.
Yeah, I mean, we've been around the block, and here we are, back
We're
again.
back. The reason why I like it here, though, is because there's so much lighting around the office that the lighting's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time with my house with the lighting.
Yeah.
So this just might work out, but we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
And really, this isn't that much farther to come than my house.
No, it's really not.
It's not too bad.
Okay, well, I'm going to start things off.
Okay, I'm very excited.
I have a little surprise for
Allie
you.
claims there's a surprise, and I just cannot wait. I love surprises.
There's a surprise. Okay,
I don't even know why we were getting a surprise because, I mean, it's after my birthday. You already gave me a gift.
Okay, so this is for you.
Oh my God, I know what this is.
You know what this is?
Look
Okay,
at this
so there's a
bag.
card in there.
Okay,
Somewhere.
we need to show off the bag first. For all of you who are watching, look how lovely this bag is. There's confetti in there. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to get
There's
the
a card.
card.
Oh, this is so exciting. Oh, thank you.
Cher what?
Look at that. And that's written in gel pen too. Wow. That's how you know it's fancy. Oh, and this is the same style of card that you gave me for my birthday.
Yes.
It looks like a mermaid because I'm an Aquarius. For all of you who are listening, you're really missing out, just so you know. Oh my gosh, this is so lovely. And this is all written in gel pen.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you are so nice. Allie!
I love
you.
Will you be my maid of honor?
I would love to be your maid of honor. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've never been a maid of honor before.
No?
Oh my God. Oh, you're so lovely. I love you so much. Yes, I would absolutely love to be your maid of honor.
Yay.
Oh,
that makes
so
me
awesome.
so happy.
I have so many ideas already. It's not even funny.
I know.
I've been saving everything I see on TikTok, and like I'm going to create a whole new Pinterest board. I've already been thinking about your bachelorette. Like I'm so in love with this. Look at all of this tissue paper. I'm going to save all of this tissue paper because it's environmentally friendly. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Just a little tiny something.
This ring pop. I'm going to have this right now. Oh, I'm so excited.
There's a ring pop in there.
Look at this cute little straw.
Heart straw.
Oh, man. I just got to say right now, if you are listening to this episode, you need to go and watch it on YouTube because you are just missing out on all of these lovely
We'll probably
things.
post this on Instagram.
Okay, ooh, a lovely
So
bottle
that
of
just
Henkel.
fell on the floor, and I was very concerned. It's like a little mini bottle of champagne.
We're gonna wait to open that one.
To drop that.
This is a very lovely bag that says bridesmaid. I gotta say, like, I'm loving bags like this now because whenever I go out, I don't want to bring, a big purse, and I just throw everything in a bag like this. And this is really good for travel as well. Oh my gosh, Allie. Oh wow, there's so much confetti in here that says Team Bride and then bubbles. Oh my gosh, Allie, this was very, very well done. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. I love you so much.
I love you. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited as well. And it's just so exciting, like when one of your friends gets married, but it's also excited to be a part of that process. So
yes, I know.
Thank you.
Absolutely loved being one of your bridesmaids. And so I'm just so happy that you're going to be in my wedding too.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to have to really read this card later because I don't want to read it out or take the time over the air to be reading it, but this is very, very lovely. So thank you.
It's sentimental.
Oh, so nice. Did you cry when you were writing it?
A little.
I'm actually surprised that you didn't cry when you asked me.
Well, I was hoping you weren't going to read the card out loud because then I definitely would cry.
No, I figured I will not subject anybody else to our love. You already get that enough just by listening to us. So, thank you so much, Allie. That's so nice of you.
Okay, so that was the start of our podcast.
That's it. Podcast over. Yeah. Episode done. Thank you for listening. This has been so great, and we will see you next week. Oh, that's so wonderful. Okay, well, just because this was just making me think of this, because I mentioned travel, I am going to San Francisco with my mom and my grandma.
Oh.
Because my grandmother turned 80 years old today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, my mom's mom.
I just saw her on Sunday.
Yeah, our birthdays are 2 days apart.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, and so she just turned 80, so my mom surprised her with a trip to San Francisco, and then I just had to like tag my way along into that.
When are you going?
We're going May long weekend.
Oh.
So still have a few months to like get excited about it. And we're going to see a baseball game, and we'll go see Alcatraz and do all the touristy things. So
wow.
I'm really excited. I've never been there before.
No.
I've flown into San Francisco, but I've never spent time there. So
well, that'll be fun.
I know. So if anybody has any ideas or, things we definitely got to check out, restaurants we have to go to, whatever, please send it my way because I'd love to know.
Wow.
I know.
That is very exciting.
I know. All right. We have a whole lot to talk about TV-wise.
Yeah. Oh, tons. Tons.
The episode for Salt Lake City was absolutely insane in the membrane. So let's just dive on in.
Okay. Where to start?
I'll pull up my list. I had to make notes while I was watching because it was just absolutely mind-blowing to me.
Me too. It was one of the crazier episodes.
What I enjoyed about it was there was a lot of information that came out amongst the drama.
Yes.
The last few episodes, I feel like they've been in Zion for like days, days and days and days, because this is like the third or fourth episode.
I think this is the third episode of them in Zion.
Where they're still there.
Yeah.
And there's so much drama happening every single day of this trip. I know.
And guess what? They're going to be still in Zion next week.
Yeah. So like, I feel bad for some of these women that are having to like subject themselves to this every single day.
Okay. Yeah. So Meredith, I've never been on Meredith's side this entire time, but
not
now,
this season.
No, and I still think that she is just fucking crazy. However, I do if you really think about it, she started on this show, season 1, and people were talking about her family. Brooks was being harassed.
Her separation with Seth.
Yeah, people are talking about her marriage. And then this new season, continuation of the Brooks stuff with Jen Shaw. And now people are questioning her dad's memorial. I would probably be at my wit's end too.
My thing is I don't know why we're still talking about the whole memorial thing, and they're not saying the right stuff when they bring it up.
Just
Whitney says, there's speculation about your dad's memorial. Well, that's not actually true. No one's speculating.
And no one said she was having a fake memorial.
Exactly. They were
confused about which day it was.
happened.
Exactly.
That's a huge difference. And so this is what frustrates me about this show, is that, and any reality show, is that they never say the right things, and then they perpetuate this drama for no reason where it could all just be solved.
The only scene that I have seen for next week's episode is Whitney bringing it up again to Meredith, and it goes so badly.
Oh, I was wondering if there were scenes for next week because I haven't seen anything.
Not at the end of the show. So I don't know anything that happens except for Whitney brings up the memorial again to Meredith, and Meredith
probably freaks out.
And
so
once again, Whitney says the completely wrong thing.
Yeah, well, that's what bugs me, is that they don't come out and just say, Meredith, we're really sorry. We weren't trying to speculate that it was happening. We were only questioning what the timeline was. Or, hey, when did you actually, let's follow up. When was the memorial?
Yeah. And guess what? Meredith did not say that she was at the memorial when Lisa called.
No, she didn't.
Lisa said, oh my God, I'm so
sorry to bother you when you're in the middle of something.
Yeah. And that was it.
Exactly.
Meredith did not say, I'm in the middle of my father's memorial.
And can we also point out that a memorial is a pretty broad term.
Yeah.
In the sense that just because you have a funeral one day does not mean that you're not then spending the rest of your time with your family and going for lunch and doing all of these things. So just because somebody says, oh, my dad's memorial is on Monday, and it turns out it's actually on Tuesday, but you were with your family on Monday, that doesn't matter.
No, it does not.
I don't have to give you a play-by-play of the entire agenda of the event, because guess what? If you were important enough, you would have been there.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel bad for her that she continues to have have to deal with this, but she's like going 0 to 100. Like when they showed the scenes again from last episode where she literally just walks into the room already freaking out, and like no one's even said anything.
No. Okay, so since we're already talking about Meredith.
Yes.
Okay, Meredith. So she says that she doesn't want to go to the dinner that's organized by Jen if Jen's paying for it, because Jen claims that she doesn't have any assets. And so she doesn't want to have anything to do with Jen paying for the dinner. So Whitney says, no, she's not paying for the dinner. The husbands are paying for the dinner, whatever. Meredith then proceeds to accept a gift of a necklace from Jen Shaw.
Okay, my thing with Meredith saying brings up the fact that she doesn't want to go to the dinner because Jen has claimed to the government that she doesn't have any assets.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, that either, like, I don't understand why you personally have to bring that up, and that you personally are affected by that, and by deciding that I can't support this doesn't really make sense to me.
No.
I think that she's saying that to try and create that narrative and perpetuate this story and stirring the pot of why is Jen throwing a party when she's claiming that she doesn't have any assets.
Right.
And at no point in time has Jen said, I spent $10,000 on this party.
No,
why would you
she didn't.
assume that because Jen came up with the idea of doing Cinco de Mayo that she's paying for it at all? You know,
production's probably paying for it, by the way.
Exactly. So I just think that that's really weird. I had that on my list too, that like if Jen's told the government she says she has no money and then throwing a party, I don't understand what the difference is whether or not Meredith attends. So you're at the house. All of you guys are at the house. I don't really understand where you draw the line personally for that. And then you accept a gift. I would rather go to a dinner potentially thrown by somebody versus taking a personal gift.
Yeah. A diamond
necklace, no less.
Okay, so more on the diamond necklace. So Meredith was on Watch What Happens Live on Sunday, and an audience member asked, why did you accept the gift? And she said, I felt really awkward at the time and uncomfortable and didn't want to make a big deal about it. However, the necklace is now in the custody of my lawyers. And if it turns out that Jen is guilty, then the necklace is going to go towards paying back the victims and whatever the taxes or whatever towards the government. And if it turns out that she is innocent, then she will decide at that time if she feels comfortable accepting the necklace or not. So
fair enough. I mean, I just think, Meredith, that you are so open to saying other things sometimes, and yet you don't say anything at that time. And I just don't understand why it was needed to have been said at that point. Because you know what? Then why did you even come on this trip? Because how do you know what Jen's paying for and what Jen's not paying for? So you bring it up 3 days into this trip that you don't feel comfortable around Jen while you're doing a party like this? That makes no sense. It's all just creating a narrative, and I don't like stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's saying it just for the sake of saying it. That really irritated me. Let me see if there's anything else about Meredith. No, not yet. We'll come back to her though.
My favorite part of that entire episode was this little exchange between Mary and Heather. Mary says, so the husband's paid for the trip.
Right.
Mary says to Heather, you don't have one, so what does that have to do with anything? And Heather's like, do you think that I'm under the impression I have a husband? Fuck you, Mary Cosby. Who's your husband? Your step granddaddy?
I mean, I don't really understand why Mary said that, because so Mary didn't understand why Heather brought up the fact that Jenny's husband was paying for part of the trip. So Heather said, I don't understand why you were being so mean to Jenny and, saying that she doesn't matter. Well, her husband pitched in for the trip too. And then Mary goes, what do you mean? What do you mean he pitched in? What does that mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? It means exactly what she just said.
Well, you don't have one.
Well, you don't have a husband. okay, like I don't even understand where that came
That's why
from.
that was the best comeback.
It made
I'm
no
sorry.
sense.
Did you think I was under the impression that I
have
had
a
one?
husband? Yeah, I know. I thought that was very strange. On the topic of Mary, one thing that really bugged me was when her, Meredith, and Jenny are at the spa, and Jenny kind of talks about the things that are going on with her husband, and she's talking about some very personal things about them going to counseling and how he won't go, and she's doing that because she's trying to open up and find a common ground. Yeah. And then Jenny says, oh, Mary, how are things going with you? Did you have a chance to talk to Robert? And Meredith goes, yeah, how are things going? And then Mary goes, I just don't feel comfortable talking about this because I don't share things like this with people that I don't really know. So I'm going to excuse myself. And then she just walks away. Yep. Like, isn't that just putting up a huge wall and saying, fuck
bizarre,
you?
Because it's not like she was asking anything personal. You could have just said, oh, he's fine. That's
exactly.
It.
And that's
story.
And that's what Jenny said after too, is like, why wouldn't you just answer, he's great, thanks for asking, anyways.
Yep.
And it would have ended right there. I don't like things like that either, where you're creating drama just for the sake of creating drama. I mean, really, you can't just take the high road and say the most neutral thing. I get that you don't like somebody, but that doesn't mean that you have to be intentionally rude to somebody.
I know.
There's a lot of people I don't like, but I'm always just very cordial with them unless they create a situation where I don't need to be.
At the dinner table, they're like, why are you being rude to Jenny? And she's like, because I want to. I don't care.
Yeah. I just don't like her. I like that Whitney was calling her out, though, and saying things like, I don't understand why you feel it's okay to treat us this way. And, you call yourself a person of God, and you have a whole congregation of people that follow you, and you are always preaching about the things that are right. And yet, for some reason, you think it's okay to act this way. And then Mary turns it around in her confessional and is like, those girls are just being mean to me. Yeah. But she can never state how they're being mean to her.
She's just not used to anyone pushing back.
Exactly.
Ever.
But there's literally no evidence of those girls being like that. No. I love when Mary says, oh, I'm just super cold, I'm going to go inside. And then the girls are like, oh, can you bring back blankets? And she's like, no. No. And then I like that they all talk about it too, to really bring up the point that she just straight up.
She's just being an asshole.
She is just being an asshole. I don't like that she just, when she doesn't like something, she just walks away from it. Yeah. And doesn't engage or try to find any kind of solution. It's going nowhere. This whole thing is just spiraling and going nowhere. Yeah. But I guess this is what happens when you force 7 women who aren't really friends to interact with each other and go away on weekends and do a lot of these intimate things with each other. Oh my God. All these women do is complain that no one supports them and no one's friends with them. All of them. Lisa does that. Jen, Whitney, Mary, Meredith even does it. They're all just complaining that none of them are friends with each other, and yet they all want to be friends with each other. It's it blows my mind.
Yeah. So Lisa's had it with Meredith. She has had it.
The ending of this episode, I had my jaw was on the floor because normally they talk about stuff, but you can tell that there's things that they're not saying. Yeah. And you can tell that they're not saying those things because they're trying to keep kosher and they're trying to maintain a good balance and be friendly. Yeah. But then at the very end of the episode, Lisa starts going nuts. And I was very surprised that she said what she said, because she doesn't normally talk about Meredith in that way.
No, she doesn't. She had it, and she knew she was mic'd because she took her mic off.
She took her mic off after saying a lot of shit.
I don't think she really realized.
I think she saw red and just started saying things. Yeah. And we've all been there where you just start kind of going off and you think about it after and you think, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Okay. But
I'm going to play the clip.
It's nuts.
It is ridiculous.
Yourself, I'm done with her because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes. Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She will herself.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. Okay. So the fact that she says, you know, I don't go and cheat on my husband. Okay, well, that's a pretty big indicator of something.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys own a house? Oh, right, you can't because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes. That's a pretty big thing to say.
Meredith addressed all of this on Watch What Happens
Really?
Live. Yeah. So she said,
Wait, do they film Watch What Happens live after the episode comes out?
Usually.
Okay.
Usually. I could tell that this one was pre-recorded, but it aired right after.
Okay, because I always thought that it was pre-recorded like a while ago.
No, I would say it's like 50-50 live or...
Okay. I didn't realize that they actually addressed stuff from that episode.
Yeah. They always...
I gotta watch
It always
this.
airs right after the episode.
Okay.
And
Didn't know that.
It's kind of like an after show.
Okay. I should be watching this. I don't know how I haven't.
Okay. So Meredith says, well, the nature of Seth's job is that he changes jobs a lot because he's a consultant and he works with different companies and then he moves on to a new company. That's the nature of his job. So
then why don't you have your own consulting firm where you don't actually get hired on by the company?
I'm not sure
that
exactly
doesn't make sense.
how it works, but she said that is not the reason that they don't own a house. They don't own a house because they're empty nesters and they don't know what they're going to do next.
Fair.
Sure.
But I mean, didn't you say that like nobody in Salt Lake City owns a house anyways?
Well, we know
Lisa
Jen
must.
doesn't.
Yeah, Jen doesn't.
I mean, Lisa must. If
Lisa
she's going to
must.
say that, then she must own her house.
Exactly. And Mary obviously does. I'm sure
Yes.
Whitney and her husband do. So
Probably. Okay, so there's that. What else did she say? Oh, she felt the need to stand up for herself about fucking half of New York. She said that she's had less than 10 partners in her entire life.
That's a weird statement for Lisa to say, though, because like Salt Lake City is not close to New York.
Well,
so have they lived in New York before?
I don't know, but there's been a lot of rumors about New York men, particularly Harry Dubin.
Oh, right.
From Real Housewives of New York.
Right.
Which Meredith said he is an acquaintance and she has not hooked up with him.
Well, and I guess you could also say that seeing as how, you know, Harry Dubin has apparently slept with half of New York, then if she had slept with Harry, then she would have
By
also
default,
slept.
she's also slept with half of New York.
Exactly. Because you do sleep with the people that your people sleeps with. So that would, in conjunction, make sense.
Yes.
Okay, what about the cheating on her husband?
Well, she was
they were separated.
They were separated at the time.
And we know that she was obviously dating somebody because of the whole Jen sleeping with that guy.
Exactly.
So fair.
But she also did address Jen, and she said, I do not know of Jen cheating on her husband. As far as I know, she is in a monogamous relationship, and I don't know anything about that.
Interesting. Well, either way, typically when you say things like that, there is obviously some truth behind them. It's just about determining what that truth actually means. So
yes.
I would say the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
I agree.
It was a nutty episode. It's this has to be, I know I've only seen 3 of the Housewives installments, but I think this one's my favorite.
It's
only
really
because
good.
There's just like so much stuff that happens and these women are savage to each other.
Yeah. It reminds me of like Real Housewives of New York a few seasons ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that again.
Only without this one has a crime story. And
yeah, which is interesting because it kind of brings out a little bit of a reality. Like, all I kept thinking while watching the episode last night is like, I can't imagine being on this trip or imagine being the caterers or people that are around watching all of this stuff. It stresses me out just watching the show. I can only imagine being these women.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
I know. It is wild.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. Garcelle has been talking about Erica quite a bit on
What a surprise.
The Real, her show. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all the women on The Real were having a discussion about how Erica needs to be doing more for the victims.
Okay. Which, I mean, has been the thing that we've been talking about for like ever.
Yeah. So, Garcelle is clearly not on Team Erica. It's very obvious.
Well, she I don't even know whose team she really is on, because half the time you never really know who she supports and who she's against and whatever.
So she basically said Erica comes to film just dripping in diamonds head to toe, doesn't seem to care too much. So there were those $750,000.
But she's also been acquitted.
Yes.
So,
well, not really. We'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I'm jumping ahead.
Okay, so Erica had those $750,000 earrings that were in question that allegedly were bought directly from a victim's trust account. And so she simply had to return those earrings.
Mm-hmm. Like, there was a paper trail showing that the money came from that trust account.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's not good. She at first refused to give the earrings back, which is just crazy to me.
I agree with
that.
What
do you need those for?
Well, exactly. And don't you have tons of other earrings? I mean, were they really that sentimental to you?
Exactly. And
as soon as I found out that they were meant to go to somebody else, I'd be like, here, take these.
Exactly.
I don't want them.
So Garcelle is basically saying, she should have just handed him over.
Right.
No questions asked.
Right.
Which she didn't do. So we talked about this. I can't remember if we talked about this last week or not, but so Erica seemed to be dismissed from the bankruptcy case.
Right.
And she also posted that she was dismissed from the case.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So she was dismissed from the case that was filed in Illinois. Remember, she kept saying that the trial was going on in Chicago.
Right.
So they are refiling in California.
That's what I was just going to say, is that there must also be something in California.
There wasn't. Now there is.
Because isn't that where his firm was located?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
So
she could still be found guilty of some things within that state.
She's still not being charged with a crime at this point in time.
Right. She's just being charged with the fact, that she may be held accountable for the money that was used. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't think she's facing any jail time, and I don't think she's going to.
No.
But it'll just be a matter of how much does she owe.
Right. That makes sense.
So, she's
crazy.
Not out of the woods.
Yeah, that's what I like about this, is that this is all starting to happen in real time now. Now that I'm all caught up with the show, then we can start to see this happen in real time. And then they're filming right now as well, so we'll see it all kind of come out on the show, which is cool.
And just from what I've seen them posting on Instagram, the new season looks so good.
Oh, I'm excited.
Me too.
Well, I know that you're not watching, but The Bachelor was on last night, and so I told you about how there's a girl in the house that's creating unnecessary drama with another girl, and it's to the point now where there's been, I think, 2 or 3 cocktail parties that are been completely affected by this drama between the 2 girls, and it's mostly just drama created by one of the women. The other one is trying to rise above and trying not to get herself involved in it. And so this always kind of happens on this show, where the first 1, 2, maybe 3 episodes is affected by the crazy, and then they get sent home and we can all go back to normal. Well, spoiler alert, if you have not watched the episode last night, then you should stop listening. But so the 2 girls, Shanae and Elizabeth, basically Clayton comes in and says, I want to talk to you guys both. We got to figure this out, because this is spending way too much time dealing with it. So they sit down, and he goes, Elizabeth, Shanae is very upset because she feels whenever I'm not around, none of the girls want to talk to her. They feel bullied by her. And Elizabeth said, can you please explain to me a scenario where you feel that I've bullied you? Mm-hmm. And Shanae goes, well, the other day you made shrimp for everyone, and then I made shrimp for everyone after, and no one even said thank you or even wanted to look at me or talk to me. And Elizabeth's like, okay, is there any other scenario? And Shanae's like, well, you were out there and you weren't even talking to me. And Elizabeth's like, I was not out there. I have no idea what you're even talking about. So now it all becomes about this shrimp situation, not about anything else. And then Clayton walks away and says, none of these conversations are about growing our relationship or moving forward. He's like, we're talking about shrimp. Okay, and then all the other girls are like, this is so ridiculous that we're missing out on our cocktail party because of shrimp. So then he decides that he's not going to do a cocktail party because he's too upset. So he's just going to go right into a rose ceremony.
I hate when they do that. So stupid.
Guess what?
He sends them both home?
No. He sends the Elizabeth girl home who has nothing, no drama. She hasn't been starting any of this.
Oh my God.
He keeps the crazy one. He keeps Shanae.
The producers told him to.
Exactly. And that's what bugs me about this show is that I know that the producers told him to do that because it's getting ratings and because people are going to watch the show and they're going to watch the craziness unfold. But it bugs me because now it's like, well, I don't even want to watch the show if this kind of stuff is going to happen. Because if I were one of those women and I was watching this all happen and then we miss out on a cocktail party and he sends her home, I'd go up to him and I would be like, you know what? I'm going to send myself home too because I cannot... If this is who you're choosing to spend your time with and you're choosing to believe this kind of stuff, because she goes into her confessionals and she goes, he believed me. He believed it. He didn't believe her. He believed me. And she goes, anybody who gets in my way, you'll have hell to pay because I'm here to win.
Oh,
that's what
my
she
God.
says. So you're not here for a relationship. You're not here to fall in love. You're here to win.
You think you're on Survivor or Big Brother?
Drives me insane.
That's funny.
I know. It's nutty.
Have you watched And Just Like That? The newest episode.
Yes, I watched the latest episode of And Just Like That. I was full on expecting it to show Miranda getting to Cleveland or wherever she was going.
Yeah, I think it was Cleveland.
And walking in on Che with somebody.
Right?
Like, I was full on expecting that.
And the episode starts, they're at lunch, the three of them, the ladies, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I was...
And no mention of Cleveland at all.
Not at all. So I thought that was really weird.
So weird.
I do think that it's an interesting dynamic what they're showing though between Miranda and Che and about how Miranda's kind of got this whole like structure in her brain of how to be a girlfriend and what girlfriends should do and Che's very like, you just gotta chill. Everything's fine. Like we're not even really dating.
We're
like,
not really dating.
Let it happen.
You're not my girlfriend. I'm not a man. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really interesting dynamic because I think it just kind of brings to light about these, gender roles and gender stereotypes and relationship stereotypes that we kind of need to break free of a little bit. Because you start to get into this whole habit of like, oh my God, why aren't they texting me? Do they not like me? Do they not want to be with me? All this stuff, right? So I thought that was really interesting. The whole storyline with Charlotte and
tampon
Lily
lessons?
and tampons, and I was like, do we really need to have this in here? But what I will say is because I am not a tampon wearer, I learned more from this episode than I think I've ever learned in my whole life about tampons.
Are you going to try them?
Absolutely not. Never will I ever.
Wow.
But I just didn't really think it was super necessary because what was that storyline really showing?
I don't know.
Neither do I. Like there was really no resolution out of any of it. Like
Charlotte still has her period.
I just don't really know what that had to do with anything.
No. It was a little bizarre. The only other thing that I have to say about that is poor Steve.
I know. I feel really bad for Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, this has just been kind of his whole character arc throughout the entire show is this sort of stuff happening. I know. And it's kind of like then why even go down that path to begin with? I don't know. I mean, if you already had a situation where you weren't really sure you wanted to be in that relationship, then you go on for another like 15 years and you still don't feel that way. I mean, that just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then helping Carrie find Big's ring, which like, why would you wear his ring out?
I don't know.
Like
to go paint?
Yeah. Like I thought that was kind of really weird. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this show. I really just don't think it was necessary. And the more that I watch every episode, the more I'm like, what's the point of any of this?
I think there's only one more episode.
I think that I think there's only 10 episodes.
Yeah. One more topic regarding TV.
Okay.
The woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window.
Yes.
I watched it all. It's really good. The ending is so crazy. It's like I don't know. I kind of like those kinds of shows, even though I just really hate like violence and I really don't like to be scared.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, I would really like to watch it. I don't know anything about it. I've only known what you've told me about it. So
it's a parody, but it's also not, because it is a mystery.
Right.
It is one of those shows, but it's funny and it's like kind of just like making fun of that genre, and it's really just really good.
You probably haven't seen The Woman in the Window.
Not The Woman in the Window, but I've seen like The Girl on the Train and Gone Girl.
See, and I've never seen any of those.
Yeah.
The Woman in the Window, spoiler alert, not good. I was really, really excited about that movie, and it was just like plot hole.
Oh, you know what else it kind of reminded me of was The Flight Attendant.
Oh, see, and I've never seen that either.
See, okay, in The Girl on the Train and The Flight Attendant, the women are both alcoholics, and so they're like an unreliable witness,
right?
Type of thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you kind of are like, I don't know if they are.
If that's actually what they saw.
Did they really see that? Are they the murderer? Did they really remember that? Like, so it's kind of along those lines, because this girl likes to drink wine and take pills. So it's one of those things where it's like,
that's really
she witnesses a murder, but did she?
Ooh, okay. And it's got Kristen Bell in it, who I really like. Yeah, it's funny because I just watched the whole first season of CSI.
Okay.
And which you probably don't watch that show, but I really like it because I grew up watching it. But it's kind of funny that the more that you watch them, they follow the same kind of template.
Yeah.
You know, so like you see the whole murder happen, and then you watch them try to figure it out, and then all of a sudden, like halfway through the show, they introduce a character who like could have had something to do with it, but you don't think that they actually really did. That person's always the one who ends up doing it. And so it's just kind of funny that the more you watch these episodes, now I'm like, oh, for sure that was the guy. I mean, he's the manager. He claims that he wasn't there. I mean, he has no idea how this possibly would have happened.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think you're going to see this one coming.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Yeah. Jeremy and I just finished watching the last episode of the new season of Ozark. So now I'll switch over to that.
Yeah, and it doesn't take very long because the episodes are under half an hour each, and there's only 8.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can easily binge that.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good to know. Well, just while we're on the topic of TV, because we may as well just keep with this for right now, but
TV themed episode.
TV themed. Do you watch Amazing Race?
No. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No.
Oh, I love that show. I haven't been watching in the last few years, but I like Amazing Race only because I like travel and I like, the scavenger hunt, puzzle aspect of it and doing all the different challenges I've always wanted to go on. Well, one thing I thought was really interesting is they started filming and then COVID happened, so everyone had to go home, and they had a 19-month break in between coming back and filming the rest of the season. I mean, that's a huge advantage. Everyone got to go home, but you've already had a taste of kind of like how the show works, how the setup works, where you're going a little bit, that it would give you time to then go home and like maybe get better at map reading, or maybe learn a bit of like a new language, or try out some puzzles, those kinds of things. I mean, we've talked about that before, about how mind-blowing it is that people go on a show and they have like no idea how
I always
that show
use
works.
RuPaul's Drag Race as an example, because it's like, oh my god, I don't know how to sew. How do I make a costume? It's like,
haven't you watched all 18 seasons of this show?
Because you're making callback jokes from previous seasons. So you don't know how to sew. You don't have a celebrity impersonation for Snatch Game. Like, what are you talking about?
Spend your time getting ready for this show by learning those things. So that's what blows my mind about Amazing Race. Is like, really, you don't understand directions. Like, you didn't try to learn any of this stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
So I thought that's really interesting, because that's the first reality show that I've ever heard of.
Would the show be good
if
everyone was just really good?
Well, of course not. No. But like, imagine Survivor. Imagine going on that desert island and you have no idea where you're going, and you meet these people, and then you get a 19-month break at home. Like, I'd be learning how to build a fire.
Yeah, of course.
Strategizing with all of those people, working through those dynamics, watching every other season. Like, but people don't do that. It blows my mind.
No.
We have a lot of opinions.
We do.
But that's fine. We're allowed to have opinions. Here's an opinion.
Okay.
I've mentioned before about how I don't like female DJs. And I know that that's female, like radio host.
Radio host. Oh my God. Okay.
And I know that that sounds stupid because I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing my voice by now too. But the other day I was listening, I think it was CFox, and there was a woman radio host on there. I don't know who it was. And she was talking about something, and I always think that they're like, if you're watching this, you'll know what I'm saying, but I always feel like they're like sitting like this while they're talking. And they're just like, hey. And she had a guy call in, and she said dude about 5 times in a sentence. She's like, yeah, go for it, dude. Hey, dude. Yeah, thanks for calling, dude. Love it. And it's like, can we just retire the word dude?
I don't really like the word dude, but I just want to say for the record, I do not share this opinion. I'm fine with female radio hosts.
Some of them are great. Some of them are awesome. But majority of them, I don't know what it is about the female voice and radio. It's breathy. And it's like they're trying to be cooler than they are.
I think you're describing Kay Adams from Good Morning Football. We watch that every morning.
Really?
And that's her.
That every morning?
Yeah. Every day.
I've never even watched that show. I have no idea what that is.
It's a morning show about football.
Speaking of football,
Tom Brady has retired.
Tom Brady has actually officially retired.
He made a statement. He did not thank the Patriots.
Because we were really unsure. Like, he did, and then he didn't, and then he did, and then he didn't, and now he has.
Yes, he has.
Thank God.
Thank God I never have to watch him play another game as long as I live.
I'm so tired of seeing him play.
I am done.
Done. I'm over it.
I was done many seasons ago.
Me too. So thank God for that.
Thank you.
So who are they going to make as quarterback of the Bucks now?
I don't know.
Interesting. Speaking of which, we've got the Super Bowl is next weekend.
No, it's not.
It's February 13th.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the weekend after?
A week from this Sunday.
Whatever. Oh yeah, it's only Tuesday. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways,
when this comes out, it'll be
be a week from now. Okay. Anyways, we've got the Bengals and the Rams. Who are you cheering for?
The Rams.
I'm going to cheer for the Bengals.
Okay.
Only because I think it's pretty amazing that they made it that far.
I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed
surprised.
Too. I did not expect it.
Well, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, which is like crazy.
I like the Rams.
I like the Rams too.
I've liked watching the Rams for a lot of years, and I like Matthew Stafford, and
they're a good team, and I'm sure that they will win. But I just think it would be cool to see the Bengals win. Because when was the last time that the Bengals were at the Super Bowl?
I don't know. Maybe let's look it up, because I thought it was never, and then somebody said it was. It's been 31 years since they've won a playoff game. But have they been to the Super Bowl? I don't even know.
So the last time that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl was in 1989.
Okay, so the year before I was born, they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so the last time Cincinnati played for a title was 1989. It was the second trip to the Super Bowl that the team had made in its franchise history.
Okay.
And the second time it had faced the 49ers.
And they lost?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and then, because they played the 49ers in 1988 as well. Crazy.
Well, I'm glad they're not playing the 49ers again.
What we're going to have to do on our next episode is make all of our like props bets, because it's always a big thing of like, what's the color of Gatorade going to be?
Right.
Because it's not the same color every year.
Nope.
And some colors go like 10 years in between being used. And last year that was a really big deal because they didn't show it on TV. They normally always show the color. Remember we were watching it and no, I wasn't with you. But they didn't show it on TV, and we had gone to a Super Bowl party, and we'd all put bets on a bunch of different things, and one of them was the Gatorade color, and then they didn't show it on TV, and so we were like scouring Twitter trying to find it. We eventually found it, but that's a big deal.
What color was it?
I want to say it was blue. I'm gonna look it up. But we need to be doing some different props bets. Like, what's the total score going to be? Who's going to make the first touchdown? Who's going to, or how long the national anthem is.
Right.
Because we also did that last year, is we bet on if it's under 2 minutes or over 2 minutes.
Right.
So there's things this year like, what's the first song that Eminem is going to play?
Ooh.
Will all 5 artists collaborate on a song?
Okay.
That kind of stuff. Because the Super Bowl halftime show this year is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I've seen people being like, hey, did you realize that they're going to play football like before and after Eminem and Dr. Dre?
They say that every year.
I know. Okay, I just want to see Gatorade color Super Bowl 20. Is it the year? It was 2021.
2021.
Yeah, okay. Even though it was like the 2021 season last year. Okay, last year it was blue.
Okay.
Yeah. So
good memory.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that because I don't normally remember things when it comes to sports like that, but that was like a really big deal. But yeah, it's like there's different color odds. So yellow / green / lime is 450 odds.
What?
750 to 1. Purple is 900 to 1.
Okay.
Blue is 750 to 1. Mm-hmm. Orange is 125 to 1.
Oh.
So orange was the favorite going into last year for 2 reasons. I guess because of the stadium in Tampa, and there's a whole big thing. So just never mind. I'm not going to get into that. But red / pink is 300 to 1. And clear / water is 350 to 1.
Wow. Okay.
I know. So if you want to make some money, go put like $1 down on purple because you just might win $900. It's a good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put $10 on purple.
Probably purple.
Is purple a Gatorade? It must be. I wonder why
I think
they never choose purple.
Well, I think it's going to be orange or blue because of who's playing.
Oh, I never thought about that, actually. That's a very good point.
Right?
You'd assume that. But then, I mean, sports are all rigged in general. So.
I know.
The NFL is like, isn't it like one of well, I saw a TikTok the other day. It was a conspiracy about how the NFL is like a completely rigged league put on by the NFL.
Sometimes
by the TV.
By some of the questionable calls made by the refs.
I mean, they also say that like boxing is one of the most rigged sports too. So hard to say.
Yeah, I agree.
We're talking about shit we don't even know now.
We really don't.
I don't know.
We're not qualified to have these opinions.
We're really not. You are more qualified to have these opinions than I am. That's for sure, because I don't know any of this stuff. Is there market stats out for January yet?
Yes, I can find some.
So Allie had a meeting this morning at her work that I was invited to talk about Pack Rim, which was awesome. So I did a whole presentation, with Allie's entire team on Pack Rim and just kind of who we are and what our product is. Really great, obviously, from a realtor's point of view, when you're trying to help clients find ways that they can increase the value of their home, or maybe they're looking at doing a large project, purchasing a large piece of land to put a bunch of stuff on, then we're a great product to try to refer clients to. So they also had a mortgage broker on, which was really interesting. So I'm glad that I was a part of that to learn about that. And then we've got market stats.
Okay. This one is absolutely insane.
I agree.
Yeah, I told you this already today. Okay, we have officially hit the average price of a single family home in Nanaimo is now over $1 million. I don't even know. I'm like speechless.
That's unprecedented. I mean, this is making history. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, the average price of a single family home was $1,003,705. Average days on market 25, and 60 units sold in January of 2022. The average price of a townhouse is $662,816. Yep.
$662.
Yeah. 17 days on the market and 14 units sold. And condos, $482,309. 14 days on the market and 33 units sold. The single family home prices have increased 37%. Compared to January 2021.
And it was already high in January 2021.
Townhouse prices have increased 53% Like what?
I was looking on the listings the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll just kind of see. And I got to the townhouses, and the cheapest one that I saw was $600, and I was mind blown.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I'm speechless.
I know.
I don't even know what to say. It's absolutely shocking that something like a townhouse or a condo can be worth that much.
Yeah. The last thing, condo prices have increased 38%.
Wow.
That is insane.
Well, if you are looking to take advantage of the market, this is the time to do it, because there's no inventory. You can't buy anything.
Nope.
It's just that the challenge is then getting back into the market. And I think that we finally kind of decided that this isn't the right time for us to buy another property, but I do think that we're going to refinance and then use that money to put back into our house.
Yeah.
So that's another, thing, is to utilize your equity while you have the opportunity to do so. And so we kind of talked about how we've been wanting to add another bathroom downstairs, and we've been wanting to, upgrade our appliances and maybe do a little bit of upgrades to our suites, and just try to like increase our home value that way by making our money work for us. So
that's a great idea.
Having that conversation like with the mortgage broker this morning, and just kind of talking about rates and your risk level and that kind of stuff helped us kind of make that decision. So
good.
Yeah. So I think that's the plan. But yeah, it's just, and yet they're building more and more houses every single day,
which is good. We need the supply.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
We definitely need lots more homes to be built.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots more development happening. When Chelsea Golf Course is for sale right now, and a good chunk of that is zoned residential. And I feel very confident that whoever buys that is going to zone the rest of it as residential.
Yeah. I hope so.
I mean, I don't know what that math looks like, but there's, thousands of homes that can go in there.
Yeah.
That other piece in Lantsville that's been cleared for quite a long time. I'm not sure what's going on with that development, but that's been cleared for a long time. So I'm sure that that's going to be ready to go fairly soon as well. So lots of growth happening in Nanaimo,
which is good.
Yeah, which is awesome. Can't complain about that.
Agreed.
I know. All right. Well, do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't
think I do either. I think we did very good though.
Yeah. Very TV heavy episode.
Very TV heavy. I hope you've made it this far. I hope that you're still listening. If you don't listen or watch some of the shows that we talk about, I hope you just skip right over that and move on to the next thing. But thank you as always for listening.
Thank you so much for listening. Please go follow us, and we love you.